Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. If you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button, give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Thursday, February 4th, 2021. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, here we go. It's the Hockey Betting Podcast. Glad to be with you. Check out the website, thehockeybettingpodcast.ca. The big game's coming. You got to bet the games. Click one of the banners, sign up, get an account. Help us keep this thing rocking and rolling. And there's crossover props, hockey into the Super Bowl as well. It's Super Bowl week. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Cam Stewart is up next to Toronto, right next door in Mississauga. Cam, this is actually take two of the podcast. We're about 11 seconds into the start of the thing, and the phone rang.
Yep.
It's a radio station that calls me every year wanting, Super Bowl betting, blah, 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 which is cool. And I don't know why they're calling me anymore because sports betting is now mainstream. It's everywhere. It was one of those things where, hey, tell us what's going on in Vegas. It's like, well, it's happening in your backyard. Why are you calling me?
Exactly. Hey, you ever heard of New Jersey? Wake up. It should be in New York, too.
No,
I
know who it is. It was friends from Buffalo. It's a radio station in Buffalo calling me. I'll guarantee it. Wanted to know about the Super Bowl. I've been doing this for 15 years with these guys. Well, there's a casino with a sports book in Buffalo now.
Exactly. Hey, I've been to that casino many times, and that's the thing. It's party time. You're right, Brian. Before it was just like, hey, these little places you can bet everywhere. And I talk about the city of New York. When you're leaving tons and tons of money on the table, it's just one of those things. Especially during a pandemic, I think if I was in charge, the first thing I would do is legalize sports gambling for revenue. But that's just me.
Yeah, but hey, what an idea!
Want a way to make money? That's a good way to make money.
All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go real Gatling. We got a lot of games. It is Super Bowl week. We got a lot of things we're both running around. That'll be a little shorter than we're accustomed to, but we'll still get to everything we need to get to. But the big fish, the 800-pound gorilla in a room, whatever you want to say, the COVID thing and the outbreak, Cam. First of all, Palmieri had it Saturday. They're playing an afternoon game in Buffalo. He tests positive at night. Sabres, I guess, talked to the NHLPA, what do you think, man? We shouldn't play this game on Sunday. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, you'll be fine. 17 Devils later, 4 Sabres later, these guys are shut down. Now Minnesota's got it. The NHL is reacting to this. I don't know if you saw this morning when you got up. Here's the solution. They're going to take the glass out behind the benches where the coaches roam. So they're going to take the glass out there, thinking it will have improved airflow there. They say they've used rapid testing on occasion. Now they're going to probably have to go to rapid testing, which costs a fortune, basically the day of the game. The bottom line is, buddy, this is getting real sketchy. I mean, 90 players have had it from start to now. But if one of the 5 or 6 teams, Dallas, Carolina, Florida, was impacted because of other teams, but if one of these teams that's been shelved already gets a second wave and has to cancel more games, how do you finish this thing?
No, that's the thing. They're already talking about it. When I was watching the Bruins game last night, they have a condensed window. They got to get things done, but time's running out. If there's another problem, like if something pops up like Minnesota, we have a real big issue. But hey, Brian, games are here now. Until something happens, we can still bet on it, and let's pray, buddy, because right now, things have been really good. We had a really a wicked night. Just the comebacks, the over. It was very, very nice. So I'd like to keep the train rolling. Football's ending, too, so the hockey monies are going to get us through the winter.
You and I were doing something else last night. We were actually on the air together.
Yes, we
when
were.
When the Bruins tied it, I had the over, and you had the Bruins, and you got to overtime and ultimately got the win. So that was good luck. Maybe we should be, on the phone watching these games together. I don't know, whatever it takes.
Let's do another show. I'll see you tonight, Brian. 10 o'clock Eastern.
Hey, you know what? You probably will.
Yes, we basically live together now. Like I could tell you one thing: our machineries are having sex. Our soundboards. All we do is talk to each other. You haven't seen Rhonda Rickshaw. I haven't seen Lisa in about a week. But anyway, it's okay. We're betting and hopefully winning money. And we'll worry about stuff after the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah, I got it, my friend. All right, let's go. Let's go Gatling gun.
Yes, let's rock.
As we go through the schedule here. I still am kind of in a bizarre place here. You got Nashville and Florida.
Tough game. This game I really don't have a huge opinion on. Small lean to Florida. Nashville, in my opinion, is still false. I think Florida's actually not great. You see a total of 6. This actually could be a surprising over. I know this is the type of game you'd look at. Like Florida, their goaltending's not good. They score goals. It might be a 4-3 type of game. I know people would just assume under, but I kind of lean over in the game. I lean Florida, but not my favorite game on the board.
No, not me either. And honestly, I'm looking at it. Florida started with 3 overs against the Blackhawks and then Columbus, but they played 3 consecutive games where 5 goals were scored, and they were all 3-2 games.
Yep.
But nonetheless, I mean, they're playing. And Nashville still remains a mystery to me. They're one of these teams. They're a pass for me. Listen, the next 2. We don't have to go bananas, do we? Vancouver's at Toronto. Leafs are $1.80. The total 6.5 to the over. I think the pooch is in play. Over 6.5 makes complete sense after the way Vancouver was getting lit up by Montreal. And then Montreal is laying 320 against Ottawa. That total 6.5. Montreal could get the total themselves.
They could. Montreal, I like Montreal. We talked about this last night. We were taping other shows. It was 290. It's up to 320. That's the thing. If you like these favorites and you want to put them in money line parlays with a couple other things, get a dance partner, try to get plus money, that's the way to do it. Until Ottawa wins, you can't bet them. Eventually, they're going to ruin people one night. And you know what I mean? We have to be a little bit careful. That's why I put them in the parlays. I'll never lay like 320. That's insane. Every time we go over like $1.55, $1.60, we start to think, is this something we want to do? Montreal's the play. I would think if they show up. Ottawa is shocking to me, Brian. I've never seen a team in hockey with pride play so poorly. I don't know what these guys are doing. I guess the world has changed because I remember when Ottawa was a new team in the league, an expansion team, even though they had the worst talent, they'd still try. But this Ottawa team has better talent. They don't try, and I really don't get it. This was a team that was supposed to make a step up. For me, it's Montreal, puck line over, -1.5, regulation, whatever you want to do with Montreal, they're attached to other parlays. I can't bet Ottawa right now. And
it's beyond belief to me. I mean, they beat the Leafs in the opener. Then they had some really good games with Winnipeg, but then they were on the road at Winnipeg, at Vancouver, and at Edmonton, and just getting blistered. And the only thing I can say, pal, with them, is, okay, get them back home and let's give this a game. They look historically bad. I've got to believe they're not handling the road. It was part of it. They're just, the stuck in the room thing. Maybe getting home, all of a sudden we see signs of life in that -320 stuff, it comes down to, what we think we thought it would be before the season started. They're
not
awful.
home yet, though. They're still in a hotel in Montreal.
No,
right?
I get it. No, and tonight, by what did we say? Last game of road trip, where they're like, "Get me the hell home." This could be even grislier than the others.
That's the thing, and we have a new way of attacking it, Brian. I told you my theory, and some people are starting to listen now. Not the first game back, but the second. We'll see what happens in the first game. But with Ottawa, I don't even have faith in anything that they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, this has been a long road trip for them, even though it's very close proximity in Montreal. You can't bet them. This team gets absolutely boat race, as you like to say. And Montreal, if they decide to show up in this game, the only problem I have going nuts is the way Montreal's been handling other teams. They've been smoking Vancouver. They could take the night off, but even with their D effort, they probably still win like a 5-3 type of game. So for me, it's Montreal or nothing. As for Toronto and Vancouver, I think Vancouver's a live dog. I know the Leafs really well. This line is out of whack, in my opinion. Vancouver ran into a really hot Montreal team. They're getting 60 cents. I would have made this line Toronto $1.50, $1.55. I think it's too high. We talked about this. For me, it's Vancouver or nothing. On the puck line, if you want to do those +1.5 parlays to plus money that I've been doing and tinkering with and seeing how it works, they've actually been effective. It worked for us with Arizona when they lost by 1 goal to St. Louis. So far, so good in the experiment. It's 2-0. I'm going to take Vancouver on the puck line and find another dance partner too. But I think if you like Brian, I know you go a little bit harder and you take more chances just with the straight up stuff. Plus 160 is a great number for the Canucks.
No, I think this Vancouver team is not as bad as they've been.
Exactly.
What we were saying is we just think maybe, maybe it's just the matchup. Maybe just Montreal flat out has their number.
They could.
That's all I can come up with.
Yeah,
I don't think they're that bad. My God, I love Miller, Besser. I mean, they got some studs.
They do, and they also have. I think Demko's actually going to take the reins. They picked up Holtby as a goaltender, but I think he's going to be more of the veteran presence to help the young kid along. But Vancouver is not as bad as the record indicates. They're actually decent. And they play a Leafs team, in my opinion, that is a little bit overrated right now, playing better hockey. They're good. Hey, they got stars. They got Matthews, Marner, a bunch of guys, but they still have that defense, and the goaltending can be questionable at any point. I actually lean over as well. I could see a 5-4 type of hockey game, a real shinny style blow up here, right? So I think we could even get the double-digit goals in this game. I lean dog in the over.
Washington is at the Rangers. Basically, it's a pick. The total is 6. That's the basic premise there.
Yeah, pass on this game, don't you think?
Yeah, I know. Well, listen,
I kind of like Rangers, but not enough to bet it. There's other stuff out there.
There is, and I'm with you. We'll go buy it. But the one thing I would say when you start looking at these games, I mean, the Rangers. I mean, they need this damn game, Cam. I mean, they're 3-4-2. They're in the basement with 8 points. Boston's in first with 16. I mean, but the craziness is they're only with teams to climb, but. As bad as it's been, the Rangers, they're only 3 points out of fourth.
That's the thing. They've lost all those games in overtime. Like I'm telling you, Brian, like our record is actually good, like very good. Imagine those Islanders and Ranger games that I bet, more not you, actually won instead of lost in overtime or a shootout. I'd be like stacking money right now. It's crazy. And that's the problem. We've had a lot of bad beats. The Rangers are on in a good spot. I think getting rid of Tony DeAngelo, who was a cancer in the room, helped these guys. They won their last game. As for Washington, the reason I wouldn't smash the Rangers, but I might play it small, is they're coming off blowing that 3-goal lead against Boston. They probably aren't feeling too good. If they would have won that game, I would have made the Rangers a bigger play.
All right, we got a money stacking game we're going to get to on the weekend, so stick around.
There's stacks.
There's your professional tease.
Stacks.
All right. Now this one fits a profile, right? And I mean, it's like Arizona had all the boxes the other night, had a real opportunity against St. Louis, fell a goal short. This is a game that checks boxes. Dallas is at Columbus, and you've got Dallas minus $1.15. Stars have been really good out of the short gate because they haven't played as many games as anybody else. But the other night, 6-3 Dallas wins, first game of the series. What do we say? Before the hate builds up, a higher scoring game. Game 2, you look for the dog in the under. Liney made his debut the other night, didn't play great, but maybe this guy finds his legs. Maybe he gets a goal and Columbus gets a bounce intercept. It would be Columbus and the under if I had to play the game. I think I kind of like Columbus a little bit in a bounce back spot.
I do too. I think it's a good. I remember when Brian, when you were a guest on our show with Morency on Game Time Decisions on Sports Grid, I took Dallas that night, and I was like, a lot of people are, Dallas, and it actually turned out to be a good bet. But I'm coming right back to Columbus. Laine had 7 shot attempts in that game. I think 5 of them were blocked. I expect him to be better. I would actually make a prop bet for all you players out there. Try something new. I've been doing it more shots on goal. I think Brian and I, as the season progresses, we're old curmudgeons, and we're going to get into the young man's DFS game. And I know a guy that's making absolutely tons of money. This guy's his picks are so good with shots on goal. He's just a hockey savant. And I think Laine for a point tonight for Columbus is something I'd look at too. Give me the Jackets, Brian. A nice price too. I think a lot of people will be on Dallas just assuming they're better. I think Columbus is in a good spot.
I'm gonna watch this game tonight, Cam. I think this has real potential just to be interesting.
What, Calgary, Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Oh, there could be in this game. I'm predicting razor blade, a chair, foreign objects. Paul Maurice went absolutely wild on the Winnipeg media for calling out Blake Wheeler, which I agree on him. It wasn't Wheeler's fault on that play. He back-checked. It was the other guy's fault, and I love Paul Maurice. I used to deal with him, and, man, he wanted to punch out people. He's fired up. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, here we go, Cam. This is the third of
These
4
teams
in
hate
a
each
row.
other.
The third of 4 in a row. I mean, and there's still bad blood from the bubble with Tkachuk and the hit on Scheifele. and now they're playing the third game in a row. Honestly, I mean, I think this is popcorn and put a bib on because you don't want any blood coming through the TV.
You're right. Basically, the way I eat chicken wings is you see sparks coming off the bone. That's what's going to be tonight. I would actually probably think the over might hit because of penalties. I would expect fights, dirty hits, all sorts of stuff in this game. Penalties equal goals. I think a lot of people are just going to automatically come back to Calgary. I'd kind of caution that a little bit because I think Winnipeg, after Paul Maurice's outburst, I think that could inspire the team. I like the way he had his teams back. It's a tough game. I would lean over, but you're right. I'm just going to watch it and see if there's blood and teeth on the ice.
All right, 2 more tonight. Carolina's $1.80 at Chicago, total 6. Arizona at St. Louis. Blues $1.70. The total's 5.5, but boy, you're paying for it. 5.5, under 30. I got not much on either of these games.
I got something on both games.
Okay, good.
On both.
Well, I get the one little thing I got is watching that game the other night. It opened up and there were stupid power plays, and I think maybe the Arizona St. Louis game could be a lower scoring affair tonight. Of those two, that would be the only thing I'd lean towards. But go ahead,
I agree, but I know here's the thing: we're looking at 2 dogs. We got Chicago against Carolina plus 150. We got Arizona versus St. Louis plus 150. I'm betting both dogs. I think one or both of them can win. Chicago lost in a shootout to Carolina last game. Kane's feeling good. This is a spot for Chicago. This was the same kind of spot we took, Brian, on Sunday when they beat Columbus as a nice dog, and that was a good win. I'm coming back to Chicago in a game where they were a little bit snake bitten, and plus 150 is a good enough price for me to get in. Plus 1.5 in parlays. I'm going to make it part of my round robin team, and I like Arizona losing 4-3. That you talked about it. They peppered the goalie late in that game. They could have won. I know everybody came back, oh, you guys didn't win that game. Yeah, what about the rest of this? I love people. But me and Brian are not made of valve. Like, we're not robots. If you still, we're going to lose some games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think we'd be doing the show? We'd be living on a damn golf course if we won every single bet. I could tell you that. But I'll tell you, Arizona is a live dog tonight. Plus 150.
All right, let's go to Friday. We got the rematch. 4-3 Bruins rally, win, beat the Flyers. I do think the Flyers are pretty phony.
They are.
The crazy thing is that game should have flown over, but you needed the goalie pulled for the Bruins to tie it, and was lucky they did because the stupid Flyers, I mean, this is the kind of stuff they do. Cam, they're up a goal, and they take an offensive zone penalty with 2 minutes to go. Give them a power play to tie the game, like in the offensive zone.
And
I mean, it's moronic.
And
it was a can opener 200 feet from your own net with the lead.
It was stupid. Was it Lawton? That was a dumb play. Anyway, let's talk. Boston and Philadelphia, I would say under in this game. You're right. That game went over, but this one I think is going to be more attention to detail and defense. There was a lot of penalties in that game. Listen, Boston owns these guys. What are they, 4-0 against Philadelphia already? I'd probably come back to them, but I'm going to stay away. Brian, I have a lean to the under this game because we're going to get a desperate Philly team, but I'm with you. This team, if Konechny's not there, they're a different type of hockey team. They're doing it with smoke and mirrors, and it's unbelievable. Boston didn't even play well in that game, and they won. And I'll tell you something, people, for all those Islanders losses, I watched every damn minute of every game against Philadelphia. The Islanders, they dominated every single game and had no puck luck. Philadelphia is not playing good hockey right now. Give me the under.
All right. No, I hear you. I bounce back with the under.
People think they look at the record and go, Philly's good. We give them the eye test, and they fail it right now.
All right, Nashville, Florida. Let's see how the first game goes.
Pass.
All right, that's back-to-back nights. A back-to-back game, but back-to-back nights. All right, but here, I mean, how do you do anything other than Tampa Bay on the puck line? They're $4 favorites. You're still going to be laying $1.60 probably on the puck line. If we're piling on Ottawa, man.
I'm going to tell you something, though.
I
feel different. I feel differently. Like, Tampa Bay murdered these guys. I'll tell you something about Detroit, too, Brian. I'm going to track something. I wish I had a damn computer and knew how to do all these things.
Excel
I got my own
sheets.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I got a database, but it's in my mind, and I'm getting older. But I know one thing. Detroit is a dog on Friday and Saturday nights. Do a hell of a lot better than during the week when they get their other teams' B efforts. Listen. I wouldn't be so. I was on Tampa Bay puck line before alternate line. I got a little bit of a worry that Tampa Bay is going to be taking these guys lightly after the win. Just tread lightly with the minus 360 price. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, not low. By the way, that'd be a great movie, wouldn't it? I mean, think about they get Russell Crowe to play you.
What, the Demented Mind instead
the
of
movie,
the Beautiful Mind?
A Beautiful Sports Mind. You know, you're sitting there, you know, looking at the board, and the numbers are swirling around your head with wings dripping blue cheese on your nose.
That's right. Just
A Beautiful Sports Mind.
You've seen that picture many a time, Brian.
I mean, Scott paper towels, the stock goes up, right? I mean, you're in constant mop-up mode, aren't you?
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually got to go out and get some toilet paper and towels. It's going to be a wing weekend with the Super Bowl. What do we got next? San Jose, SJ Sharkey, and wing the Ducks. Oh yeah, by the way, NHL. I'll get on my high horse for 1 second. When a team like the Los Angeles Kings brings out the Rogie Vachon and Bernie Nichols throwbacks, Marcel Dion. Hey, Ducks, you might want to bring your throwback back. Nothing looks stupider when a team plays their old throwback jerseys and you're wearing your modern jerseys. At least do yourself a favor and bring back the Mighty Duck jersey from the movie. Just a thought. Get on the same page. You look stupid.
Oh, by the way, I love the purple pajamas. But
so do I. I love the Kings purple and golds. God, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But Brian, I'm watching the game going, wow, so the Ducks didn't get the memo. You can't play like one of your older jerseys. If a team goes throwback, you got to go throwback. It looked really dumb with the Ducks with their regular uniform, which blows. Who do you like there?
Well, this game, I mean, listen, the Ducks, it does suck. But, you know, the Ducks are 4-5-2, and, you know, now they've already played 11 games, you know. So
I don't like San Jose here. I think I lean to SJ Sharkey in this spot. They've been off for a while, too. Sharks haven't played in a while.
Coming off 2 losses, I'd probably go that route.
Tough game, though.
Here's the other one. We said this teams that are playing usually have such an edge over teams coming off the shelf. Vegas coming off a week off. I don't think their coaches are going to even be ready to come back and coach the game again, Cam. And Petrangelo's out, but Vegas off a long layoff.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're laying 240.
People assume that teams with layoffs are going to lose. It's the opposite in the COVID era. We talked about it with college football teams. Teams with COVID actually won. It's like a bizarro world we're living in right now. The one issue that I have, though, is the way the Kings played against the Ducks. I expect a better effort in this game, but you know how good Vegas is, Brian. They could turn on a switch. So to me, I don't love the game. What do you think about the total in the game? Sometimes Vegas games get a little bit weird. Maybe the over?
It was so long ago that Vegas played, but it's Fleury's turn. And Fleury has been playing lights out.
Yeah,
you need a BB gun to beat him. But you know, the funny thing is there could be a little snark to this. Vegas being off, and they have a little history with Drew Doughty. This game could have a little bite to it.
It could, and maybe it's a sneaky over. I know you're good with those.
First game of the series, I'd lean goals. But the rub is, Fleury also has been off. It's one thing when the team's off, but when the goalie hasn't been facing shooters either. And Vegas, and here's the thing. I mean, when we say they're off, they haven't been practicing. Vegas did get a practice in yesterday.
Yeah, and that's good. Look what the practice did for St. Louis. If Vegas wants to play in this game, they should be able to destroy the Kings, but we'll see. Maybe parlay material, but I can't lay the juice. But I'll lean to Vegas right now.
All right, let's take a look at Saturday, just to kind of a blanket peek at it.
We have one game circled.
Well, let's get to that in a second. But the big one, you got Colorado and St. Louis. I mean, in the Pacific, the triumvirate, right? Colorado, St. Louis, Vegas. Those are really good games. But Colorado's been this up and down, in and out kind of team. St. Louis is scoring goals. Binnington has played pretty good, but at the moment, St. Louis has actually been a little sketchy in their own end.
I agree, and I don't think Colorado's been as good as advertised either.
No.
Nathan McKinnon's going to be out in that game. We don't have lines for this game as we're doing this show, but I'm going to tell you something. I would give St. Louis in the over a long, hard look.
Yeah, no, St. Louis will probably be, 30.
Plus what?
Maybe
plus, I think 15, 20 cents maybe.
St. Louis probably at home favorite, 25, 30.
Yeah, you're right.
Good game, though. I mean, these are the games. Watch as that series moves along. That's starting a new series. All right, let's go to the anvil. You ready?
Yeah.
Listen, the Islanders. We both identified this in another thing without even talking to each other.
Beep. That's
Islanders have lost 5 in a row.
Back it up.
All right. Then, the Sabres were supposed to play them, and the Sabres had to shut it down. So now the Islanders are sitting on the shelf, but they've lost 5 in a row. So by not getting to play the Sabres could be a blessing in disguise for them, because whatever their problem had been, they've been able to practice. Practice is a big deal. Coming off 5 straight losses, both you and I think Pittsburgh is phony as the day is long. And the Islanders are probably going to be a 25, 30-cent favorite max in this game?
Yep, exactly.
Isn't this Islanders and Islanders on the puck line one of the better? If it happens, if the goalie stands on his head and beats us, so be it. What can you say?
Agree.
But everything, we both agree this is a spot. We're not going to get many spots like this year, I don't think.
I agree. And if it doesn't win, don't send the email, oh, you got whatever. Yeah. Pittsburgh can win this game. They're still a hockey team, but I love Islanders regulation, money line, puck line. I see a 5-2 type of game. And I'm telling you, Brian, me and you, we watch every game. I watch the Islanders, their last 5 games. They've actually been good against Philadelphia. They were snake bitten in those games. They didn't get saves at the right time, and they also dominated and couldn't bury shots. They're against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's phony. Love the Islanders in this spot. I think they murder them. It's going to be a huge play. That's the Saturday night special, buddy. Let's rock.
All right. Now, betting, and this is, I know what you want to hear. If you got something, I'd say over, because it's the first game of the series. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Get the eggshell timer out. Get the countdown on. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We have waited and waited and waited, and at long last, we get the first Battle of Alberta. Merry Christmas, kids. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. In the first 5 minutes, that would be a great prop. Will there be a fight in the first 5 minutes?
Yes. Penalties in the first 5 minutes, over. Kind of lean Edmonton in this spot. They've had some time off, some time to work on things. Calgary's playing games against Winnipeg, probably sick and tired of looking at the Jets. Now they get to see a team they even hate just as much or more in Edmonton in the Battle of Alberta. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird spot there, Brian. But here's the thing about the Oilers. I still think they're a phony team, even though Draisaitl and McDavid are great. Other guys on the team need to step up, but time to practice, time to work on some things. A little bit of time off is a great thing in a rivalry game like this. I have a lean to Edmonton, and when they get together, usually penalties in the over.
And so let's see, San Jose. Well, Vancouver, Toronto's a rematch game. We'll see how the first game goes.
Exactly.
Do we possibly, if the game is a track meet tonight, and we're taping it on Thursday,
then we come back
with the under?
Listen, I was on that Vancouver-Montreal under again, Brian, when you were on the show. That game was going under. They didn't score a goal in the third period. I had the 6.5. It was 6, and then Vancouver scored that goal against, was in Montreal with like 40 seconds left to make it go over. I was done, and that game was going to go under. So if Toronto and Vancouver play like a 5-4, 6-5 type of game, I will come back to the under, because one thing I know, it's going to be 6.5 or 7 if it goes over. So, yes.
All right. Then we get to Super Bowl Sunday. Are you ready? Let's see. Who will have more Flyers Capitals margin of victory? All right. Flyers Capital, the margin of victory in the game, head to head versus Chiefs Bucks, first half field goals made.
Hold on. First half field goals made. I think there'll be 2 max. I think that game will be 1.
Flyers Caps is minus
goals. I'm crazy.
Flyers Caps is -0.5. The margin of victory is -0.5, but it's minus $1.50 on the field goals.
I don't know. Pass. Give me another fun one. I don't like that one very much. Made me think too much. My head hurts.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Golden Knights goals.
Yes.
Versus the Kings on Sunday. Golden Knights goals versus Mike Evans receptions.
Oh,
Evans -0.5.
I like Evans. I think the Knights score 4 goals. Evans is good. I think he just gets to 5 or 6. So I lean Mike Evans there. What do you think?
I would lean Evans.
Yeah,
I would lean Evans.
Remember, because Antonio Brown's banged up. They might go to Scotty Miller a lot more. I think Evans, I know he doesn't get I think he's going to be targeted more than people think in that game due to the size advantage. I think Brady's going to look for him a lot. I would not be surprised if Evans had 6 or 7 catches, and I think the Knights probably get, 4 goals against the Kings. So I like Evans.
All right, let's go. Cale Makar points pick versus Leonard Fournette touchdowns, and Makar's -$1.60.
Say that again.
Cale Makar points for the Avs against the Blues. Makar points minus $1.60. Head-to-head versus Leonard Fournette touchdowns.
I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette touchdowns. I'll take the juice. I think he gets one touchdown, and I think Makar against the Blues maybe gets 1 point tops. And that's I should be getting more on my dollar for that bet because Makar should be a huge favorite against Fournette to get a touchdown.
Now, see, I these are water cooler things, and I generally stay away from these things, because you have to handicap two things.
Yeah.
But here's one. And it's minus a dime either way, and I'm doing my Super Bowl remote the next 2 days over at the SuperBook, and this is where this is hung. I might jump on this one just for a fun one. Avs Blues goals versus Tyreek Hill receptions.
I like Hill receptions.
Hill minus a half, but I mean, if Hill gets, what if you're sitting there and you get it's the back end of a series. What if you get a 2-1? It's if. But what if you get a 2-1 hockey game? Hill's getting 6-7 catches.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Hill gets like 6 or 7 catches. I think this game will be 5 goals, 3-2. So, I lean Hill right there. And if it's 10 cents, I kind of like the football over the hockey right now, Brian, for the fact that I think, I'm not sure how these games are going to play out on Sunday, but Hill might get, and the thing is, Mahomes with that injury, a lot of quick hitches, ding, ding, ding. Like Hill could probably get 7 or 8 catches, don't you think? I don't think there's going to be 7 or 8 goals in the hockey game.
And know this is the one other quirk. They're all matinee games, right? Because
they're
of the
all
Super
matinee,
Bowl.
yeah, because the Super Bowl.
One's a breakfast game. Philly, Washington's a breakfast game
For you.
Then they're all, for me, yeah, they're all matinee.
Actually, they're a breakfast game for me. Maybe who knows what I'm going to do the night before. After doing all these shows, Brian, I might have to call recall off, but maybe back up the truck and I'll pound in 2 bottles of the lighter fluid with my 24 beers. Because I can tell you one thing, I'm just going to be, when I'm done taping these shows, or Friday night, buddy, it's going to be a little bit of me time and things could get stupid. So, yeah, I might be watching that game in bed.
I'll throw one at you on Sunday, and we'll wrap it up. If Fleury starts, all right, if Fleury starts the Friday night game, that means Leonard goes Sunday. Leonard will have been off 9 days. I'm going backwards here. I would go a higher scoring game in the Golden Knights afternoon game. Of all the games on Sunday, I would look at goals in the Vegas Kings game. And that's not knowing how the first game went, right? We're taping this in advance. But Leonard's been solid, but letting a few in a game, in a squirrely 1 or 2 a game.
I'll tell you another thing. If Columbus loses again to Dallas, I'm going to probably go very hard on them against Carolina. I think Carolina's been okay, but they've also been a little bit lucky. And that's probably the game that I'm looking for. These games on Sunday are very tough, though. They're not easy games.
And believe me, the matinee thing makes them quirky.
Exactly. Yeah. And what have you learned over time with matinee games? Dogs do a lot better than they usually do. Good teams get out of the rhythm, right? So that's the thing about Detroit. They're bad, but they're not Ottawa bad. They played bad against Tampa Bay, but Detroit is still playing better than Ottawa. I'd take a look at what happens in that game. If they get murdered again against Tampa, I'd actually look for them against the Panthers. They played the Florida Panthers very tough and lost a couple heartbreakers this year in a shootout by 1 goal. It's not like then the Panthers, because there's a reputation, they'll be a monster favorite in that game.
And here's the last angle. If there's a salami, a grand salami, maybe play the under.
I agree.
Wait a minute, because all the referees aren't going to be calling penalties because collectively all the referees want to get the hell out of there to go watch the Super Bowl.
Couldn't agree more. I agree with you. So far, Brian, I've been living on salami. My doctor's not happy about it. Extra big and fat and salty. What about the Ottawa Edmonton game? We got 13 goals. I had salami coming out my yin yang. But I will say on Sunday, I agree. These guys want to watch the Super Bowl. Put the whistle away, guys. Put it away.
All right, we're going to put it away for the weekend. The Hockey Betting Podcast. Check out the website, thehockeybettingpodcast.ca. And again, if you're going to be jumping in, betting some of the props for the big game, you're going to start diving in on hockey. Click on, there's all kinds of cool offers available to you on the links, the banner links at thehockeybettingpodcast.ca. You click in from there. You're doing us a solid. Keep things rocking and rolling for us. By the way, we get the occasional, you go 5-1 and and that's fine. I mean, if we go 1-5, so be it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We do have the one guy, though, Cam, turn the clock back. His name's Drew. He went 3-0 in parlays, and he sent out the parlay. He got the parlay treat.
I love Drew Thrasher. He's my guy. He's always been positive. See, I like people like that say, hey, guys, thanks for the picks or whatever. Like, no, Drew's quality act. Drew, I hope you hear this, and I hope you keep on winning, and maybe you can give me and Brian a paycheck, too, a little bit of your percentage, buddy, if you keep on beating down the Brinks truck.
Buddy, always a pleasure. Have a great weekend. We'll do it next week.
You too, man. Oh, no, Brian, I'll talk to you in a couple hours anyway.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I told you, you're my wife. We might as well bring our soundboards up. Like, I'm going to be sleeping with this thing.
All right.
Baby. Oh, baby.
All
right. These levels are all hot. I got them hot and steaming right now.
We're not putting a lid on this, Cam. We're putting a manhole cover on it. That's all she wrote. Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.